So, let me see if I got this right as far as WWE and TNA goes. And I asked this question, and hopefully he'll respond to it come Monday, to OTRS Central's Q&A. But let me see if I got this straight. Let me see if perhaps I can firmly understand this. You have plans, WWE that is, to turn or to push Cesaro as your number 3 babyface behind Daniel Bryan and John Cena. Yet, for some odd, strange reason, even beyond me, you choose to keep him heel. Why? I mean, why would you decide to keep this guy heel when you pretty much know every fan that you have, IWC, WWE, whatever, wants to cheer? You know, this goes back to this question I asked Jeff on his channel. It basically seems that WWE and even TNA at times, they can't decide who's babyface and who's heel. It's weird. I mean, I hate to say it at times, but it seems TNA tries to get that a little bit more right than anyone else, even though it's ridiculous how they do it. I mean, I'm not saying TNA isn't innocent and is not guilty of this situation, because they are. You see, both WWE and TNA both have the different ways of dealing with this and different ways of interpreting it, and basically by having these different ways, it confuses the heck out of the fans. I mean, from the TNA standpoint, you suddenly decide, hey, we're going to have MVP turn heel, and then have him explain, oh, by the way, me and Lashley and King have been working together since lockdown. So, you're telling me the guy that he had an exhibition match with, if you will, on Impact, the guy that basically fought him, well, basically was insulting him, he's been working with since lockdown. You expect me to believe that the guy that came in and literally beat the crap at lockdown out of Ethan Carter III, Bobby Lashley, that he's been working with him since lockdown? And all of a sudden you decide to say, oh, by the way, we're going to make TNA, not TNA, but MVP realize the real power is in the TNA World title. All because you want a heel to go up against Eric Young, who's very over with the fans, believe it or not. And what does this do? I'll tell you what this does. This suddenly turns a lot of people that you thought were good as heels and had the good, you know, basically those that you feel were good heels, all of a sudden you can slowly, if not instantly, turn them babyface for no reason. Then because of the fact that MVPs turned heel. Doesn't make sense. I mean, you're possibly taking a Bobby Roode. You're possibly taking a Bobby Roode, who's a natural heel, can be a great heel. Everybody knows this. And you're going to turn him babyface again. And for what? To feud with MVP? You're going to take an Austin Aries, who you just don't know who you're doing what with, flip-flopping him back and forth. And you're probably going to turn him face after you've just recently turned him heel for a short period. it's, it's almost like TNA can't even make up their mind who they want as faces and who they want as heels. I mean, if I was running that company, my personal opinion, if I'm bringing someone like MVP in as a babyface, I keep him a freaking babyface. If I'm bringing in a Bobby Lashley as a babyface, I keep him a freaking babyface. This is what confuses fans about TNA and how TNA doesn't know who they want to heel or babyface because they can't decide. But yet, now you might say, well, what is that? How does that associate with WWE? Well, it's real simple. WWE is similar, but not really, because they're fighting the grain. You see, unlike TNA, where TNA can't decide, oh, we'll keep this guy babyface. Oh, you know what? We're going to turn him heel because we need a heel. I'm not saying WWE never did that. Take a look at Ryback, for example. That's a good example of them doing it there. But still, the point is, the big difference is TNA is more guilty of not knowing who they want to flip and flop, basically flip to heel or keep babyface. They don't know because they're always flip-flopping. WWE, more along the lines, they're fighting the grain. You see, they don't know who's babyface or heel because they keep fighting the grain. You see, the reporter comes out, they want to make Cesaro number 3 babyface, yet they're fighting that grain by keeping him heel and associated with Paul Heyman. You have reports of Bray Wyatt before the year's out going babyface, yet you're fighting the grain by keeping him heel. And the same can be said for maybe the Ascension. You bring them up. You think fans are going to want to boo the Ascension? Oh, hell no. They're going to want to keep these guys as they're going to want to see them as baby faces, but of course, knowing WWE, they're going to make them monstrous heels. Again, I'm not saying WWE isn't guilty of the same stuff that TNA has done when it comes to flip-flopping guys for no reason. But WWE is more about fighting against the grain than TNA, because TNA is more about, they don't know, basically, who they want to keep as a babyface and who they want to keep as heel. Or who they want to make babyface, who they want to make heel. Here you got WWE just trying to fight against the grain. It's like they know people want these guys as faces, but yet they're fighting against it because they're in these situations with these other superstars or wrestlers. And that's what pisses them off. Yeah. It's what pisses them the hell off. And they don't like it. But you know what? That's why WWE and TNA are losing so much fan base. That's why they're losing a lot of support. It's because they can't decide who's the baby faces and who's the heels. Whether it's WWE fighting against the grain by keeping people heel when they should be babyface, or it's TNA not deciding, hey, let's keep MVP, let's bring in MVP in as babyface. Oh, wait a minute, let's turn him a heel. For no reason except, oh, I want the TNA World title. Ugh. Honestly, WWE and TNA, Ring of Honor does a hell of a lot better job with the baby faces and heels than you do. I mean, I think it's time you stop fighting against the grain. I mean, take a look at NXT TakeOver. You have an opportunity heel to turn Charlotte, Ric Flair's daughter, the new NXT Women's Champion, into a babyface diva, and yet, according to a spoiler source, you decide not to do it. You decide to fight the grain, keep her heel, keep her part of the BFFs with Sasha Banks, and instead, who are you turning your attention to be the new babyface diva out of that group? Summer Rae. And why? Because Summer Rae, because why? Because of Summer Rae's situation with Fandango right now? So that's why you decided to do this? Summer Rae, yeah, there's no doubt people saw her going babyface a long time ago. But come on, she's more of a, she can be a more, it has been proven in NXT she's a more natural heel than what Charlotte could be. And you have Charlotte having this humbling moment and babyface-like moment, and yet you're fighting against the grain against that? I mean, why are you doing it? Why? Because you want to set up Sasha and Charlotte for the title? Okay, I'm fine with that. But still, you want to fight against the grain against it. See, that's just an example. You have a huge, WWE has a huge opportunity to turn the new women's champion babyface, and yet you fight against the grain even in NXT. And you try to keep her heel. And for what reason? Why? Because she's Ric Flair's daughter, and Ric Flair was naturally a heel for most of his career? Or maybe it's the fact, or maybe, just benefit of the doubt, maybe you're setting up for a Sasha-Charlotte feud. One can only hope. And again, you're choosing Summer Rae over Charlotte. Why? Because Summer Rae was, according to the spoiler source, taking selfies with the fans. Why don't you just have her come out at Payback, at Raw and SmackDown, high-five the fans, and just officially make her babyface? Again, this is just the thing. Both companies don't know who's heel and who's babyface. TNA is more in the category they can't decide who they want to keep face and who they want to keep heel. WWE is more like the fighting against the grain and not doing what they know is right. And that's all I'm going to say, guys. You let me know what you think. I got to get ready for work.